We are in part 2 of a series all about how to use yoga, mindfulness, meditation, breathing techniques to help us through the early parts of our labor all the way through until baby is right on your chest. So if you are preparing for having a baby, you are in the right place. And today we're going to be going over my favorite positions, which are derived from yoga, to alleviate some labor pains and even can help position yourself so that baby can move down the birth canal a little bit faster. So stick with me. Make sure you hit subscribe because we've got more content like this coming up and I don't want you to miss any of it. So number 1 is hands and knees. So come onto your hands and knees and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Bring your hands right under your shoulders and your knees right under your hips. Knees can be spread a little bit wider than hip distance to give yourself a little bit more room. And from here, just spend some time wiggling your hips from side to side. So like a dog wagging its tail. Maybe inhale, lift your chest, feel your shoulders move back, lift your chin. And then exhale, round your back. Maybe you look in toward your baby. Good. So that's a good place to start, is just moving around. And then eventually you'll just find whatever position feels best to you. A lot of these positions, I will tell you, the more you can move around, the more that you can rock back and forth and just kind of not be still, the better it is. So just like rocking soothes your baby after the baby's born, rocking soothes a mama in labor too, okay? From here, walk your hands forward, 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 and keep going until your forehead comes down into the floor or to the mat. See, booty is up in the air. This is called puppy pose. And from here, you can just wiggle your hips from side to side. Maybe make circles. Whatever feels good. And then walk your hands back. Come back to that tabletop position. Maybe bring your thumbs to touch in front of your nose and step 1 foot forward. I'm going to step my right so you can see a little bit better. You take as many little steps as it takes to get here. And if this is impossible, you can have your hands up on blocks or up on pillows or a whole lot of pillows if you need. I'm going to use a pillow just to show you what that looks like. Okay, so you're in this low lunge, and from here, maybe you make big circles through your hips. Deep breaths all around. The last video was on different breathing techniques that you can do to help you with labor. So if you haven't watched that one yet, I'll put a tag up on this video, but you can go back and watch that one. You can incorporate a lot of those breathing techniques as you move through these postures, and they can be really super helpful. So I'm taking big circles. Again, always moving, always swaying, always rocking, in just whatever way feels good to you in the moment. So always tapping into that mama's intuition that we all have deep inside, but especially when we are in the process of giving birth, right? Good. And then whenever you're ready, you can come on up. Maybe practice the other side. So step the first foot back, come to the second side. It's my left for me. And then same thing, forward and back, side to side, all around. Big circles, little circles. It all just depends on what your body needs in the moment. And only you are really going to know what you need. And you can understand that just by tapping in and paying attention to what feels right, to what feels good. Good, so a couple more breaths here. We're just evening it out in case you are practicing along with me at home. Good, come back to hands and knees. Okay, and I'm going to turn to face you so that you can see this just a little bit better. But you'll be on hands and knees, and just bring one foot out to the side so the foot is in line with your hip. And then with an inhale, turn your toes out to the right. It's your right foot, toes turn out to the side, and then just walk your hands over to the side. So it's a half squat. Maybe you even start to snuggle your right shoulder to the inside of your right knee. And then maybe you wiggle forward and back. Maybe you straighten the leg and bring your hands to center with an inhale, and maybe you exhale and you bend it and you go over to the side. Good. You can be anywhere in between these two shapes. You can linger in one place or another, and you can always stop and sway and rock and make circles with your hips. Good. Come back to hands and knees and do the other side. So left foot now off to the left, bend your knee, hands follow, maybe snuggle your left shoulder into the inside of your left knee. And then you can stay here or you can go back and forth. You can wiggle around, you can rock, you can go as deeply or as not deeply as you need at any given time. Good. Come back to hands and knees. I'm going to face to the side again so you can see. And just bring your knees wide, wide, wide. Sit your hips to heels, forehead to the floor, child's pose. Another great tip for just calming and soothing during labor is to bring this point right in between your eyebrows down and onto something. So it can be onto the floor, it can be onto stacked fists like I'm doing right now. You can have pillows, whatever you need. But this point, having it pressing into something, is a really, really good way to soothe and relax. Take a big breath in. Let it out through the mouth. Soften your jaw. Good. We're going to come into a full squat now. So walk yourself up. Bring your hands together in front of your heart and come into a full squat. Now, if this is too much for you, sit up on something. So sit up on yoga blocks, sit up on a big stack of pillows, whatever you have. But you can be here and you can just start to open, lift your chest, and sway back and forth. Sway and rock and find your breath. And keep going inward and asking yourself what it is you need right now. And whatever your body is asking for, just listen and do it. Because your body is so much wiser and your intuition is so much wiser than anything else, than any checklist that you're going to read on the internet or anything that your doctor or midwife or your yoga teacher or your doula or anybody else is going to suggest to you. You know you. And whenever you're done, just come back to a seated position, however you need to get there. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees be wide. And then maybe just take a second, make big circles. Good. So we're coming back to that cat-cow shape that we did at the very beginning of this video. So chest moves forward. And as you come around and back, your back rounds. Maybe you can look into your belly. Hello in there. Good. And then just change and go the other direction. So you can keep with that if you want to while I talk to you, or you can stop whenever you're ready. As I've mentioned, this is part of a longer series, so next week we're going to be doing a meditation for the early stages of birth. So make sure that you are subscribed, and if you're interested in doing a deep dive of all of the different tools that yoga has to offer to help you through your birth, please take a moment. There's a link down below. It will take you to a description of an online course that I have that is a 6-module deep dive into using all things yoga and mindfulness to help you have the birth of your dreams. And I hope you'll join me there.